You know, these videos aren't for kids. If you aren't at least 18 or are easily offended, you should probably click off. We here at Dual Wield accept no responsibility for your children. So if you are an adult who sat your kids down to watch our videos, you should be ashamed. Anyway, back to the video. Please welcome the hosts of Dual Wield Wednesdays, Vegeta Almighty and Jindrax. Take it away, boys.
Greetings, my little subjects and fellow wielders. It is I, the Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta Almighty, back again with my illustrious co-host, as always, the great Jindrax. Say hello to the nice people at home.
Heyo.
So, full disclosure, we are straight, fresh off recording the Doki Doki Literature Club episode 2 video, and we have not changed the setup at all. We did go to get snacks, as you could probably tell by me chewing. I needed to pick me up after that.
Yeah.
I got fucking...
That was depressing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this gets better from here. But, anyway. We didn't have enough to record another episode of that, because that takes too long. And we thought we'd go ahead and just do a quick episode of the podcast, and just kind of bullshit for a while.
Yeah.
31 days of Halloween, still going strong, as always. So, today's topic, I actually picked out, and it's just going to be a more of a lighthearted, less structured episode. Less structured than as opposed to what, right?
Right.
But we're going to be discussing basically some of our favorite horror, terror, thriller, horror adjacent, any kind of content that we would be putting on this channel. Anything that would relate to that.
Yeah.
From our childhoods. So, I'm going to let Jin go first. And I'm going to get whatever this is out of my teeth.
So, I'm going to say it. One of my favorite movies, especially, it's kind of scary. It's more like thriller and gore than anything. But the Saw movies. Absolutely love them. They're fun to think about. They're fun to, it's a psychological trip through the whole damn thing. You're trying to figure everything out, just like the, whatever main character is there. Only to be fucking mind fucked.
By the end of it.
The end of it, yeah.
So
super fun for those.
Full disclosure, before you move on.
Yeah.
I've never seen Saw. I've seen Saw 1.
My guy.
What?
Well, I know what we're doing this Halloween.
I'm fine with that.
We're going to watch all fucking 10 of them.
We can skip the first one. I've seen the first one.
I'll rewatch it for posterity's sake.
Fair
Just
enough.
for completion purposes.
Posterior stakes.
So there's that. Of course, there's the... yes, please. Of course, there's the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Oh, classic.
Absolutely.
Didn't watch those till I was already a man.
Yeah.
Married.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Never watched them.
So my mom told me, and here's how you know there's something fucked up with me a little bit, psychologically. When I was a kid, like about 3 years old, I used to watch Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Halloween and, Chucky and Scream and this and that and the other. And I laughed. Never cried, never screamed, never got scared, never really had nightmares, just laughed. Like, my mom was like, that's the weirdest shit that she's ever seen in her life. But, yeah, I grew up, I love horror movies, man. One of my favorites is a movie called Forget Me Not. Have you ever seen it? So what it is it's a movie about this girl and her friends go to a graveyard. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen it. But this girl and her friends go to a graveyard, and or they were in an orphanage or some shit. And essentially what it is one of the friends ends up dying. And the friend that ends up dying starts killing everybody else that's close to, her other friend. And when she kills them, everybody except for her friend forgets that they even existed.
Oh, wow.
So there's no, missing person, anything. Like, they were never...
Because there's no person to miss.
Yeah, they were never there. So, and they join her in the afterlife.
I want to watch this.
Yeah, it's fucking great, dude.
Sounds good.
It's a great movie. Absolutely love it. Another one which has Ryan Reynolds in it before he started... Well, I can't say before he started doing the goofy comedy shit, because he's been doing the goofy comedy shit for way longer, but this is before this is one of the first movies I ever saw him in. And that's the Amityville Horror.
Really? I didn't know
the
he was in there.
2003 edition, yeah. Yeah, fucking fantastic movie. That and Ghost Ship is definitely one of my favorites, too.
Ghost Ship was really good. That is one of the few horror movies I ever watched as a kid.
Alright, if we got a snack, you gotta pass me something then, bro. I got the munchies like a motherfucker.
Fair enough. You want to hit back up into map? Sorry about.
If you're gonna buy me some,
I will.
some chippies, then probably.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You good?
Oh god, it went up my nose.
That's why I never get these.
Oh shit. I usually don't have that problem. Ugh. This is the Hollywood episode where Vegeta dies. Actually, holy shit.
Jin uses his necromancy powers to bring his ass back.
Oh fuck. Zombie Vegeta. Awesome. Oh shit, that hurt. Anyway. Yeah, Ghost Ship was one of the few I actually watched as a quote unquote kid.
You know, it was fucking terrifying. Watching it in theaters as a child.
See, I was kind of a pussy when I was a kid. I wasn't exposed to a lot of horror. Other than through my parents. But like, my mom tried to always tell me, oh, look away, da-da-da, you know.
My mom tried to get me to do that shit too, and I just never did.
But
it never bothered me.
Well, I saw a lot of night terrors as a kid. So, I didn't want to...
Exacerbate things,
exactly. Of course, now you know, that I'm an adult, I call my nightmares reality, but being awake, but or marriage, but I did have some like passing experiences with horror. Like I said, I did know about Chucky. Whenever mom and dad would put on a horror movie, a lot of the times I would want to sit in and watch it with them because I'd want to spend movie night with mom and dad. But whenever the scary scenes would come on, they would tell me that I need to look away. Mostly because they didn't want to deal with me, you know, having nightmares and shit. Which, fair play. Fair on them. But, you know, as a kid, there is things that you experience that even in that situation you can't really avoid. For me, it was a lot of video games. Other than if you want to count Courage the Cowardly Dog, which I do because that show was fucked up. Let's just be honest. But a lot of it for me was video games. So, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare was one of my first ever forays into horror games.
Mine was Resi 1.
See, for me, it was, I tried Resi 2 on the N64, couldn't figure out what I was doing, and then just kind of put it down because I was stuck in like one screen at the starting screen. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on, and then I just kind of put it down because we only were renting it, and I had other games that I wanted to play. So moved on. And then we got Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare from my uncle, and my dad was playing it, and I was playing it separately. And I remember that game freaked me out a lot as a kid. I went back to it as an adult, and it freaked me out as an adult because I was angry. I was terrified I was going to die from high blood pressure because I was super fucking annoyed the whole time. Because it's very much so you need to play this game with a guide or you're going to have to restart your entire save if you don't know what you're looking for.
Oh, shit.
Because you can lock yourself out of saves, because limited saves. You have to You had to get the ink ribbons, basically.
Yeah.
The equivalent of ink ribbons. Limited ammo. There were entire weapons that you could miss that were vital for getting through the game. And the final boss is one giant fucking you need to know what you're doing puzzle that gives you zero indication. It's still fun, especially if you have a guide on hand. If you get really stuck, I recommend going into it blind, and then if you get really fucking frustrated, start over and do a guide. But I feel like it's still a fun game to play.
So for me, the most terrifying thing was when I was playing Resident Evil 4 on my PS2. Was my mom turning off the PS2 before I had reached a save point. And I say that because in Resident Evil 4, there's only certain places you can save. Only certain places have typewriters, and yes, you did have to have a ribbon of ink.
In the Dark was like that
in order to fucking save. So basically, if you had to be done playing for a while, you just paused the game and then turned off the TV. You didn't fucking turn off your PlayStation. Because if you turned off your PlayStation, you'd have to start all the fucking way back at your last save. And as infrequent as Resident Evil 4 saves are...
It's hours.
It could be literal hours of gameplay before you get to another save. So, which I'm so glad that they fixed that in future games, because I like to be able to save where I'm at and just go, if I have to leave, I have to leave. One of my favorite things about Nintendo games. But yeah, it's just, that is the most terrifying thing to me, was somebody turning off the PlayStation, not realizing that I was hours of gameplay in and no save. My mom did that to me like 3 times before I told her. I was like, Mom, if you see the PlayStation still on, because I turn off my shit. Like, when I'm done with it, I don't leave shit on. I always turn it off. I take care of my fucking electronics. I don't like them to overheat and shit like that. Or fucking just be on all the time. That's not good for any electronics. So, I told her, I was like, look, if it's on and I'm at school, just understand I'm literally in the middle of something and I couldn't keep playing and I don't have a save. Just don't turn it off. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Thinking back on it, probably one of my first traumatic, horror moments.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, are we recording?
Sorry, I was...
You're looking at OBS.
Yeah, I was looking here, it says start recording.
No, you should be looking at Audacity.
Gotcha.
We're only recording audio right now, so you only need to look at Audacity. Why would I run OBS?
I don't know. We can edit this.
We've been here before. Anyway, thinking back on it, one of my first ever forays into terrifying, like one of the most traumatic horror-like experiences came from a Sega Genesis. Oddly enough, I specifically remember watching my dad play Buck Rogers' Countdown to Doomsday, and there's a stage on there. I don't exactly remember the whole detail, but there's like some derelict ship that you end up going on. And then this game has one of those things where it's like when, like in between levels, they'll show up a big splash screen of like to kind of give you an idea to help you immerse yourself in the setting that you're in, and then like text box at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was like some derelict ship that you were on, and then like all of a sudden this like fucking grotesque looking character comes out, and you know it's like looks like it's melting and shit. I have to find a picture of it, but at such a young age as I was when that game was around, when the Sega Genesis was out, and you've heard the Sega Genesis sound chip before, how fucking satanic that thing can come across. You know, it was one of those things where it was just like perfect storm of yeah, I'm gonna go in the bedroom now. I'm not gonna really sit around and watch this. Fucked with me a little bit as a kid. It wasn't as bad as, say, like if I had actually sat down and watched a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things of like,
yeah, I'm done with this.
yeah, I was like, that's enough for this. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
So that was one of my first ever forays into horror. It's really not even meant to be that. It's sci-fi, but you get my point. As a kid, it fucks with you.
You know, there was one show that kind of fucked with me when I was a kid, with like an episode or two.
Are you afraid of the dark?
No. Xena Warrior Princess.
Really?
Yeah, there was... I remember I was a little kid, like little kid, and I remember my grandpa was watching it. I was sitting in the living room. There was a scene that came on, and I don't remember quite what it was, but it was like something transformed and like killed something else, and whatever it transformed into like terrified the shit out of me. I was like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
I went to bed shortly thereafter.
Here it is. I found it. So is this scene. And there's blood on the walls and shit.
Okay.
And with, of course, naturally the, again, Sega Genesis sound card.
Yeah.
That fucked with me a little bit as a kid. I watched a little bit of Goosebumps. That show never really bothered me.
That show never really bothered me either. One of my favorites was, what was it, The Haunted Mask or some shit like that?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
That's the one where like the girl puts on the mask and it won't come off, and it's like demonic and possessed.
Probably.
And
The ones that... The worst show was Are You Afraid of the Dark? That one was way worse. You got what?
So I never had an issue with that one.
I didn't either. But looking at it as an adult, between the two of them, yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark was way worse. And you're sitting there like, I don't know if I'd let my kid watch this. You, on the other hand, probably would, but there's something wrong with you, psychologically. What would you say is the most scared you've ever been at any kind of media? The most, not scared, but like the creepiest or the most extreme you've seen?
I wouldn't really put it as the scared or anything like that, but watching as many horror movies as I have, there are some things that are incredibly hard to watch. For instance, there's a couple of R-word scenes in a couple movies that are really, really hard to watch, even though, like, they don't show anything, because it's a movie, they'd fucking... Yeah, but one of them was, like, The Hills Have Eyes 2. Was about as close as you got to that, and then
was fucked up.
The immediate payoff though was great. Like, you know, crushing his testicles with a fucking sledgehammer right afterwards.
Yeah.
It's great, but the deed is done. You know, even in The Hills Have Eyes 1, that whole fucking scenario, like that entire 2-movie series is fucked. What's even more fucked is it's based off of real shit. So there's that. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre has some shit that was hard to watch. Fucking House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects.
Oh, yeah, those were pretty fucked too.
Those are fucked up. Rob Zombie's how anything Rob Zombie directs is gonna have a scene or two in it that's just like hard to watch.
Who hurt you?
Yeah.
No.
Fucking Hostel.
I refuse. As an adult, I refuse to watch that movie.
Hostel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie, that's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
That's why I refuse.
All of them. All
go.
the Hostel movies.
That's why I refuse to go overseas. Like, and stay anywhere. No. Like, fucking no. Like, dude, the one that, first of all, for me, this, you want to get me to rinse and turn away, do something with this. You want to slit someone's throat, that's the quickest. That shit fucks with me right now as a almost 30-year-old man.
I'll just wait until you see some of the shit in Saw.
I can stomach it and I can sit there and watch it, but like if I see someone doing that, I'm looking away.
I was gonna say there's gonna have to be parts where I'm gonna have to be like, okay, this kind of scene is coming up. Are you gonna be comfortable with
I'm
this?
not even that squeamish, but it's something about, and oddly enough, you know what fucking started that for me? Listening to Kim from the Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh fuck.
The
Yeah.
fucking choking, that chills down my spine, bro, because I could not imagine that, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it. That kind of shit fucks with me so hard. And when he cut Homeboy's Achilles tendons and told him you can get up and leave, and he tried to, and his foot stayed on the ground, bro, no. I'm not fucking, bro, give me a gun, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun with these movies, bro.
Saw, I've seen some of what Saw has to offer.
Such as?
Like I watched the fucking Dead Meat. He does the kill count and shit like that, and he shows like all out of the kills and stuff. They're fucked. But man, something about the visceralness of fucking Hostel, man.
Yeah, Hostel's
Something
fucking,
about that fucking
Hostel's
movie.
on another fucking level. Hostel is for people that are like horror junkies that just get off on the shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what Hostel's about.
Because that's what the people in the movie do.
Yeah.
The guy from Saw does it. He has it's like a fucked up mission that he's doing, from what I'm understanding.
It'll make sense.
It's a morality thing to him. He's a villain.
Yeah.
These guys are fucking perverts, sickos, weirdos, and fucking Hostile. They come in their pants doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross. Dude.
It is. It's fucking horrible, man.
I can't watch that movie. Like, because that is so real. Like, you know that shit's real.
That's the unfortunate thing, and I think that's another thing that I think Hostel really brings to light is like, it's exactly what you said. Like, with Jigsaw, or just as an example, right? With any of the other killers that we've talked about, anybody else that we've mentioned,
Jason,
Freddy, all these guys, yeah, the acts that they do are kind of atrocious, but at the same time, they're fictional. You know they're fictional. This is a made-up scenario, and it's something that's going to be supernatural, and it's something it takes you out of reality.
Yeah, and those I enjoy.
Whereas Hostel is all about the reality. There are literally, and this is something that many people try to fight all the time. Like this, whenever people are like, "Oh, sex trafficking," it's fucking hostile. Is what's happening. If y'all like don't understand exactly why people are so big about, be safe, be protected, be where,
Watch Hostel.
Yeah, just watch Hostel. And you'll figure out there are some really fucking dark people in the world, more than you could ever, like, even fathom.
Matter of fact, I don't care if you're listening to this from overseas. If you plan on going anywhere outside of your comfort zone and your area of expertise, watch Hostel first. I guarantee you'll be fucking safe that whole trip.
Yeah.
Like, you will make all the correct decisions. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, no, like, I'd stick with the fucking tour groups. Don't wander off,
If you go missing and aren't answering your calls, I'm leaving you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to follow the hooker you were hanging out with to the fucking place where I get trafficked.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, like that's the thing about those types of movies is it's very, very real, and for that terrifies a lot of people. So yeah, I can absolutely understand that one. Like, a lot of people don't really fuck with that movie. My wife can't watch that movie. You can't watch that movie. I don't really want to watch that movie. But it's there, and I have to say, as far as movies go, I will give credit where credit's due. It's a great fucking movie. It's just, can you stomach it? And the answer for that question for a lot of people is no. Like, it's not something that they're willing to do.
It's soberingly realistic. I do, as fucked up as it sounds, as much as I hate it, I do recommend that movie. Once. You watch it once, you will never need to watch it again because every goddamn scene will be burned into your head.
Yeah. It's a fucked up.
I can vividly imagine.
And that's just the first, like, the second and Hostels Part 2 and 3 are
I haven't seen 3.
Fucked.
I've seen 2. I had an easier time watching 2 for one reason and one reason only. I had established myself a defense mechanism.
You knew what you were getting into versus, like, Part 1.
Not even that, but I established myself a defense mechanism. Every time I started feeling myself get too anxious, I just yell out, "Detective!" Because Chloe is in that movie.
That's fantastic.
So I would just yell that out, and then I would feel better about myself. I would think about Tom Ellis's supple ass, and then we would move on.
And then imagine fucking Chloe dies, you're just like, "Detective."
But luckily, spoilers alert, she doesn't die in that movie. She ends up killing the bitch. It was great.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, that movie, like, I highly recommend you watch it once if you ever plan on traveling anywhere. Never watch it again if you can't stomach it, obviously. But I think it is a sobering experience. Yeah. And I think somebody needs to come up with an edited version of that movie. I feel like that should be taught in schools. In high schools, obviously. But I think that's such a fucked up movie that it's a PSA, if anything.
Yeah, like, this is like, hey, man, this is reality. Like, this is what it is.
That is the most traumatic period. I can't watch that movie anymore.
I got one that's more traumatic, and it's more traumatic for real life than it is for movie, even though it's a supernatural movie.
What is that one?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Poltergeist.
Nope.
Haunting in Connecticut.
Nope. Think about this before you take your last guess. It is a movie that you watch, and even though you know that everything is not real, it has caused you to start questioning chains of effects in real life.
I don't know. I can't even think of anything. I probably haven't seen it.
The first one has a plane crash.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Final Destination.
Yep. All of them.
That was not so traumatic as Hostel, in my opinion. But like you said, it does have you question everything.
Well, my thing is,
it affects.
Here's what I mean by traumatic. That movie fucked with so many people that there are people like myself who refuse to even drive behind
A log
logging
truck.
trucks.
Yeah, they're so. That's why you know that lane's always empty.
Yeah, like if you see a logging truck, unless it's back-to-back traffic, that lane is usually empty right behind it. And it's because most people have seen Final Destination 2, and that movie just fucks everything.
Yeah.
And it has you questioning, like, there are times where I'm like, I'll catch myself thinking about it and have like a mini panic attack about it, where I'm like, did what I just do set off a fucking little chain of events? Or like whatever, like it's insane
I get what you mean.
to think about.
Now, I can't even eat mac and cheese the same.
I
always think of that scene where he's like, he's next and he's like super like, he's got the baby food mac and cheese and he's still like super chewing it. He is making sure it's mush. Like sometimes if I think about that movie, like while I'm eating something, I'll 53 more chews.
Yeah, right.
And so, I mean, that movie fucking put
Yeah.
you on alert.
Dude, that movie fucks with people. Like, all of them did. Just imagine being in a fucking drive-thru, and all of a sudden a truck comes up from behind you and just smashes into the back of you, and its engine just...
Yeah.
Like, absolutely fuck all that you could have done about that.
Standing there, smoking a cigarette. All of a sudden, an explosion happens over here, and a barbed wire fence comes flying through the air and slices you in 3 pieces.
Yeah. There's that. There's fucking...
That's why the ghost ship fucked with me a lot, too. That fucking scene at the beginning.
Oh my god. That one really... It fucked with me from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, that entire movie was just...
That scene is the worst, though. That and the one where he fucking, like, impales the girl on the hook.
Yeah, that too.
That was very gory. And that one's... And just seeing her fucking feet kick and shit. Oh.
And then stop.
I think sometimes, for me, it's the implication is
Yeah.
worse than the actual... Like...
If it's done right, yeah.
If it's done right, implication can be worse than seeing what happened.
Oh, I gotta say, that whole fucking sequence in Ghost Ship was fucking amazing.
That was a good... That's a great movie.
The song choice of it was fantastic. The dude fucking shooting all of the people inside with the gold, only to turn around and she fucking blasts him and you can see through his fucking dome. Mm-hmm. Like, and then just turning around, kissing the dude and fucking hooking her up.
Yeah, literally. They hooked up. Yeah. Oh, just real quick. Speaking of, for me, implication being worse than visualization. You've seen Tarzan, right?
Yes.
Fucking the end with Clayton. Like, the implication there was... I think it would have been worse if we saw him.
It was no I don't even think it was an implication. You literally saw his shadow.
You saw a shadow, but I'm saying, like, had you seen him, it almost would have been better.
Yeah.
But, this has been a great topic. I thought this was pretty good. We're about ready to wrap it up. I need to go back to Mapco. I need something else to drink.
What I'm going to do now is, really quick, we're going to do 2 facts about Halloween. So first, sugar rationing during World War II paused trick-or-treating. So, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I can see that. So you'd have to kind of figure out something else. You can still do costumes, you can still party, you can still have fun with each other. But as far as candy was a no-go.
It's tough.
Trick-or-treating wasn't as big a thing during World War II. After the rationing ended, it was all systems go on the candy collecting front. Candy companies began launching advertising campaigns to cash in on the ritual and make sure kids were clamoring for their products to show up in their candy buckets and spare pillowcases.
That makes sense.
So yeah, like that's, they came up with like the whole fucking pumpkin Reese's and the Halloween shapes. Oh, we're going to decorate our candy and make them look more festive
even
throughout
more.
different times of year.
That's capitalism, baby.
Yeah, and I think chocolate has the easiest time with it for real.
Yeah.
Because they can mold it and shape it and
Molds.
do whatever the fuck they want.
That's it.
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. As far as favorite candies go, especially during Halloween, I'm always saddened every year that I can't really eat my favorite candy.
You and I think, have the same one.
Yeah, Reese's.
Yes,
Of
dude.
course.
Reese's is so good.
Reese's is the best.
For
but
me,
my
Kit
wife
Kat-
is allergic to peanuts.
Kit Kat has taken over that for me, simply by proxy of the fact that I don't want to bring peanut butter or peanuts into the house.
Fair.
But dude, if we're out and about, I'm getting me a fucking Reese's.
Oh, dude, for me though, if it's not Reese's, it's Three Musketeers, man.
You know, if it's not for me, and maybe for me, okay, the matcha Kit Kats, and I know I'm weird for this, but like the matcha Kit Kats I love to death. I think that's why I like Kit Kats more now. But with those excluded, it's for me, it's either Reese's or another one I can't eat, Snickers.
Nah, well, you can, just almond.
I don't like the almond ones.
I love almond
See,
Snickers.
and you know what my favorite Snickers is?
The almond butter Snickers. Oh,
Do you know what my
God.
favorite Snickers is? Peanut butter squared ones.
Yeah.
The basically Reese's with the caramel, the nougat, and the nuts. Yeah, so.
But no, like for me, it's dude the fucking the almond butter Snickers is fucking amazing.
I had the cashew butter one.
I'm telling you, dude, try the almond butter one. You'll fucking love it.
I have a shot.
I, honest to God, wish Reese's would make an almond butter bar. Like, if anybody could fucking come out with the best almond butter
cup?
yeah, like an almond butter cup. I mean, I know it's Reese's peanut butter cups, and
I
it
think
rolls
that's
better
what it
off the
is.
tongue, but like...
I think they do peanut butter. I think they actually... Because they sell peanut butter, too.
Well, yeah, they sell... I mean, they had... That was their whole fucking thing, is the peanut butter and then the Hershey's chocolate. Because that's what the fuck it is. It's, you know...
I think they should do it, too, but...
But honestly, yeah, they should. They would make a killing because they don't get as many customers as they could simply for the fact that a lot of their people are fucking allergic to peanuts.
Sadly.
So they can't fucking eat a Reese's peanut butter cup as much as delicious as they are. They are probably one of the best fucking candy. They are the best candy. Fuck it.
Well, I know what we're getting at Mapco.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to this, the Irish brought us jack-o'-lanterns.
I can kind of... I feel like it's implied in the name.
As the story goes, an Irish man named Stingy Jack tricked the devil and therefore was not allowed into heaven or hell. So he spent his days roaming the earth carrying a lantern, hence the name Jack of the Lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah. So, so it's Jack-o'-lantern, so Jack of the Lantern.
That's pretty cool. I like that one. I think we should do one more because we didn't do one for the last week. Which, obviously, respectfully so. But I think we should throw another one in.
So, alright, I can absolutely do that for you. They used to be jack-o'-lanterns used to be carved out of turnips, potatoes, and beets.
Well, you said Irish, so potatoes make sense.
Jack-o'-lanterns did originate in Ireland. After all, once Halloween became popular in America, people used local produce like pumpkins instead. So that's why we do pumpkins here, but in Ireland they use like radishes or turnips, potatoes and beets.
That's gonna be a bitch to carve too.
Yeah. So yeah, you could, if you ever wanted to go like actual traditional style, we could do it with those instead.
Yeah, fuck all that. If I get a jack-o'-lantern, it's gonna be a plastic one.
Yeah. And then lastly, there's also traditional Halloween bread in Ireland. It's called barmbrack, or brack. The sweet loaf typically contains dark and golden raisins, as well as a small hidden toy or ring. Similar to the classic king cake at Mardi Gras, tradition dictates that the person who finds the item will come into good fortune in the coming year. That is, as long as they don't choke on the trinket.
Yeah. That'd be pretty fucking unlucky.
Yeah.
I would have to say. Well, I love doing these. I gotta be honest with you. I'm enjoying doing these episodes with you. Very much so.
I love the Halloween stuff.
This has been pretty good. I think it's going to be great. I've enjoyed everything we've done so far. With certain exceptions. I'm looking at you, you fucking ogre.
Yeah, you're coming with me.
That episode in and of itself was fine. It was the last two episodes where I was super over it that... I was done. But other than... and I'm looking at you, OBS. I'm looking at you. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
So, with that being said, thank you all for coming out to this episode of the Dual Wield Podcast. 31 days of Halloween. Still going slog and still going strong. I don't know why I fucking stuttered there. My mouth kind of got stuck because I had crumbs in my mouth. Whatever. Point is... Thank you all for coming out. We really enjoyed doing this episode. Jen, you want to go ahead and say your piece?
Drink your water, don't be a dick, and have a nice day.
Happy Halloween, everybody. See you all tomorrow. And, yeah, as per usual, I don't know how to end videos.